Oracle of the Future. Yes, I changed the name. My channel used to be called Charlene Speak. Charlene is my real name. Hello. So, welcome to the Oracle of the Future. There's a reason I changed the name, you guys, because it's time that we go in this shift, this time jump with everybody else in this world, and the name fits on the direction that I'm heading towards. Okay, so if you are not new to my channel and want to know what we're about, we are decoders. We decode God codes. Okay, we also are truth seeker. We find the truth. We share the truth, and we tell you what many people do not know. And how do we do that? I do it through my prediction videos. I'm an oracle actually, but I go by a seer because I haven't awakened to my oracle gifts. But anywho, I'm a seer, and I share what I've seen about what's to occur in our future. I also shared about what's to occur to certain celebrities. You can find that in a playlist if you go on my channel. And I decode God code. I found out through my gift that the Bible itself is one big code, okay, and that God basically spread a lot of his messages in hidden sight. Okay, his messengers are the ones that can decode it. Okay, and I happen to be one of his messengers. Okay, so I was able to find out that he has many, many messages. Okay, out there. For instance, we're decoding the movie, and the character itself, Friday the 13th, Jason Part 2. We did Part 1. If you haven't watched that, go ahead and go to my live section and go find the Part 1 of our decoding. But today's part two, and basically doing our decoding on the first movie, we found out about Jason. Jason is actually the shadow side of Jesus Christ. How did I came to this conclusion? Well, it's in the movie. Jason is the message that God wants people to know. The movie itself, the movie franchise, is the hidden clues that leads to this message. Basically, Jason is the son of man, but what I got is the son of man is not just, represent Jesus Christ, but Jesus Christ itself is represent of a symbol. It represents something else. It's much deeper. There's more to the story. That's what God wants people to know. It's more to the story. Pay attention to the details, and look deeper, look closer. So we're basically going down the rabbit hole, and when we go down the rabbit hole, we may come off as crazy from the outside world, but in all, we're just we're seeing the truth, and the truth is not as lenient as people want it to be. The truth isn't something that people may not accept. The truth is something that's out of this world, even. It's like it's never heard of or it's never seen. But the evidence will be shown. Okay, through our decoding, we will show you the evidence, we will show you the truth. Okay, so now that I describe all that, let's get started on with this movie, Friday the 13th Part 2. And yes, I know my camera quality is bad. I am gonna get a new phone. Not now. I gotta wait for payday. But yes, my camera quality is bad because of my phone. So that's why it looks a little blurry. Trust me, I am aware of the quality. But anywho, the show must go on. So we know that Jason represents the shadow side of Jesus Christ. We know that Jason is also some type of avenging angel, okay? Avenge the souls that suffered, avenge the souls that their story was never told. In the first decoding, Friday the 13th, part one, I discovered during, like, I channeled a message during me decoding as I was watching the movie. There was something that occurred in that land, Camp Crystal Lake. Something about that land and the Native Americans. If you watch the first movie, there was a lot of reference to the Native Americans, as well as the part two. There was reference to Native Americans. It wasn't as much as the first one, but it still was shown in the second one as well. So that is a indicator what I channel is truth. Okay, basically what I channel is there's something. Um, there were a native tribe called the Natal tribe, a native tribe, Natal tribe. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing the name right, but this is what I channeled during the first movie. There's a Niger tribe that was wiped out. They were killed, and their land was stolen. Their inheritance was stolen. Okay, something was stolen from them, and their tribe was wiped out. Okay, so this is something that occurred in the past, and doing that, we learned that because of that, their story was never told. That land was cursed, and Jason is some type of avenger. He came. Jesus Christ became some type of avenger, this Jason character. Okay, this is his shadow side, his dark side. We all have a light, we all have a dark side. And what happens? Jason is a, I guess, serial killer in the movie, but we can't take things as literal, okay, you guys? Because even in the Bible, it's not literal, it's coded, okay? Some of it is literal, but you have to look deeper. Just like the movie Jason, the Friday the 13th, you have to look deeper. Yes, this is God's shadow side, but there's more to the story, okay? He's not just some type of mad killer killing anybody. There's a reason, there's a why he became that shadow side, okay? And there's a reason, and there's a why he's killing these different people, okay? But just know that the land that he goes on is has been cursed because something occurred there where it has been some type of cover up, a death that has been covered, where someone who has died suffered and their story was never told. Okay, so that was something that happened to Jason, and Jason is basically protecting these people as well, something along those lines. Okay, so with part two, I was getting something about the wilderness. They kept mentioning that. And in all scary movies, especially Friday the 13th, we always see people running inside the woods, running to find their way, right? Running away from the killer, running away from the scary thing, the bad people. They always run in the woods and they always end up being captured. 9 out of 10, not always, but most of the time when they go in the woods, we know that they're going to get captured, right? But in the movie franchise, we're on the second movie, but what I've noticed is they keep referencing the wilderness, the woods, and I feel like that's Jason's domain. But like I feel like the woods represent his mental state. As I was like breaking it down, I feel like it makes people like as you dive deep into his mental state. It's like I feel like the wilderness represents a mental psychosis or something. I know it sounds like what? How did you get there? It's I feel like it's a way to entrap his prey. It's a way to entrap the souls who's trying to run away, the souls that are lost. It's like the wilderness is some type of maze, but it's like it keeps you in like in a loop or some type of mental psychosis. So how I broke down wilderness in the movie, this clue, I feel like it represents some type of mental psychosis. And specifically, this is Jason's mind. And somehow when they go into the woods, it's like they enter his trap. Okay? I don't know how he does it, but it's like a trap. It's like a mouse. He's like luring the mouse to a mouse trap. He's luring them in. Okay? He wants them to go to the woods because that's his domain. So that's something that I was able to break down when it comes to that. It's some type of trap, but it's also some type of mental psychosis that represents Jason's mental state. In the movie, we know that Jason is mentally unstable, right? He is a sociopath or a psychopath. I really don't know the difference, so I should really do my own research on the difference of a sociopath and a psychopath. But that's his mind. He is that. He became that. That's his shadow side. So something occurred to Jason where it changed his mental state, where he became a sociopath, psychopath, but he also has some type of empathy to him. He has a goal. Like he doesn't see things how other people see it. His reality has shifted. He became deranged, and he in his mind he believes that what he's doing is right. He feel like he's doing the right thing, but again he's not in his right mental state because something occurred to like shift his way of thinking, his perception. It shifted it. Okay, so that's something that I wanted to point out is that he is mentally unstable. This character, this shadow side, okay, he is. Um, Okay, the spears was also referenced. It connects to the Native Americans. Okay, that was also shown in part two a lot was the spears. And who do we know what culture used that back then? Which was the Native Americans. Okay, so there's a lot of reference to the Native Americans, and that's very specific to the clue and the message that God wants us to know. Like something occurred way back then. This is not just a movie, this is the truth. Something happened here in America that has been covered up. Okay, some type of tribe was wiped out. Okay, and their story was never told. This tribe was very special to Jesus Christ, to God, and because of this tribe being wiped out, that land has been cursed. So anyone who goes in that land or build on that land, they always end up dying, getting sick, or something always end up happening to them. Anyone that builds in that land. Okay, so Jason, the movie, is basically showing us that, but it's also like showing Jason's, God's showing us like, okay, this is what occurred, but their stories still haven't been told. Therefore, I curse this land, and I curse this land, but I curse this land because of what they've done. But somehow it shifted. I don't know. There's something here with the wilderness. Like it's like an alternate reality, like an alternate state of being. Like I really feel like it represents his mind, Jesus' mind. Okay, but that's what I wanted to make the connection is the spears was shown a lot in part two, and that referenced the Native Americans. The realness referenced Jason's mental state, some type of mental psychosis, and also I also want to point out something else, a small little detail. Part one shows this a lot, and part two I see that as well. So it's a pattern. There's the women in that, in both part one and part two, we always see a character that get undressed. They always show a bra, and if when they get dressed they put a t-shirt and they're in their underwear. That's very specific, and I feel like that's a clue as well to what God is trying to say. Okay, what the message is. Okay, so there's something about, because I said in part one, with the native tribe that was wiped out, there was a specific girl that God loved. It was like God cherished this girl, and somehow I feel like she died the worst out of all the people that was wiped out. She suffered, okay, in silence too. I was getting that, but something about her innocence. Okay, something about innocence because the color that's represented in the movie, it shows a lot of pink and blue and yellow, and when it refers to a woman in the movie, they always show the color reference, and I really feel like that means something as well. That's a clue, something about innocence. But then it shows like right after it shows them getting undressed or whatnot, it shows them getting intimate with someone. So there's something with some type of sexual fortification. Like I feel like they didn't show it in the movie, but it's something about the innocence was stripped away from this little girl, from a girl where it involves sex, okay? Her innocence was stripped away because of it, okay? Like raped or something. But there's something that happened to a specific little girl that was part of a very ancient tribe. That's what I got. So that was a lot of clue. Um, in the movie, the part two movie, the Friday the 13th part two, they kept referencing the bear and the rabbit. That's a clue as well. If you guys been keeping up with my channel, I was getting into Chinese zodiac, and I said that that's actually the right zodiac is the Chinese. Something about the animal signs are is the right representation of the cycles. the right representation of people. Okay, is the animals. But anywho, they kept referencing the bear and the rabbit. In this case, in this movie, the bear represents someone who is of authority, someone who is aggressive, okay, and the rabbit is someone who is easy to capture, someone who is innocent, okay, someone who is docile, naive, okay, but the bear is the one that's like in charge, and so when they kept referencing the bear and the rabbit, it was like a joke in the beginning of the movie, and they referenced shit. There's something about shit, like pooping, too, something with poop, bear, and the rabbit. But I was getting the bear is some type of authority figure, and the rabbit is, I guess, it's like the weakest link or the weakest part, and the bear is like basically in charge of the rabbit or giving it orders. But I really feel like that's a clue, but it's also like a ah ha ha, like an inside joke or an inside clue. Okay, don't ask me how. It's an intuition thing, but that's what I'm getting. It's some type of inside joke and ha ha ha, like God's humor, but it's like twisted, like dark humor, but twisted human. Again, the mindset of Jason is twisted, it's warp, because something, I really feel like something disturbing did happen to Jason. Okay, it's not just about a drowning. This is, you have to go deeper. It wasn't just a boy just drowned because he was bullied. It goes deeper than this. This is all of these are metaphors for something much deeper. You just have to pay attention to the details. Okay, they kept referencing the name Legend. Okay, but in the movie, the way that they were referencing Legend, it wasn't someone who was like the greatest of all time type of reference. It was the legend of like a myth. It's an old folklore tale. It doesn't mean anything. Many characters in the part two didn't believe in the story of Jason. They didn't believe it existed. They believed it was made up until they saw it for themselves. Okay, so they believed Jason to be a myth, a lie, something about a lie. They felt like that was a lie. Like they believe the cover up, okay? But they feel like Jason is a lie, okay? A liar, a lie. And there's something about resurrection and vanish, okay? Which that connects to the Bible, resurrection. Okay, so, and again, I didn't see any Bible reference. It could have been shown. Again, I gotta pay attention to every little detail, but I didn't notice any reference to the Bible. There's a lot of psychology reference though with his mental state, and especially at part two, you can actually see that. And yeah, his face at the end. I'm like, his face was warped, and I really feel like, again, not everything is as literal. It means something about no one knows his true name, no one knows his true face, no one knows his true story. Okay, so it's like no face, no name, and then when people see it, like, ew. Okay, but they see like this Jason character. I really feel like something disturbing happened to him for him to become the shadow version of what he really was. He was light, okay, but he became light, but his perception was warped. And for some reason, I know so far, is that with scary movies in general, the police officers are always involved somehow. They either come too late, they come in and people are being killed and don't even know it, or they're just dumb. Okay, but there's police officers, police being referenced throughout this movie, and each time that they come in the movie, it's like they try to warn them about why did you open this camp, or they try to yeah, that's what they do. They try to warn them, why did you open this camp, but like asking questions and stuff. So something about police as well, I wrote that down. I feel like there might be like dirtiness, something about dirty, because dirty cops. The reason why I feel like there was something regarding dirty cops or dirty police, because if we're going back to the Native American that was wiped out, the tribe, I don't know that they had police back then, but they probably had something like that. Okay, but is there something about the police back then was very dirty? The reason why I say that is because there's a scene in part two, Friday the 13th, part two, where there's a police officer that ended up dying. This specific police officer went inside the wilderness, which is the forest, which I mentioned. The wilderness represents Jason's mental state, a mental psychosis. Okay, it's like he lures them in like a trap into their death, and like this police officers went into the wilderness and he found a shed. This shed was very, very dirty. It was so dirty he was looking like ill, right? And he went inside. He's like, "Oh my God!" Right? We couldn't see what he saw at first, or we didn't see at first. Oh, hi Yari. We didn't see what he saw until then he got killed. So I really feel like the dirtiness of the shed and the police officer finding Jason's I guess secret, but it was covered up with dirtiness. So police there's something about people didn't believe something. There was a lie told. So they didn't believe in the truth that was stated. They believed in the lie. So that's what I believe. And the police officer saw Jason secret, but it was dirty, or it was they look at him as a dirty individual. Cause you guys, we can't see things as literal. We gotta look deeper into things. Okay, that's how I saw that representation when the cop ran in the wilderness. Okay, and then it showed the full moon again. Okay, so it showed a part one and part two. So he does it in the full moon. When he does his killings, it happens during the full moon. It doesn't happen in the daylight. He do it at night. No, he does kill it in the daylight. He does. So, but I guess he does like a mass killing at night, but he does kill in the daylight because I do remember him killing part one. He did kill someone. Well, it was his mom or something that killed someone in the daylight. No, he killed in daylight. Oh, there was another thunderstorm. Yeah, in the beginning of part two, it showed a little bit of his story of him. It was a little boy. He was playing outside at night, and it was raining, but it didn't show his face. All we heard was the mother and him. So as I guess as we go through the franchise, we're gonna start to learn more and more about Jason. Okay, we're gonna know who he is, what really happened, because I feel like it's more to this story of like a drowning. I really feel like it was more that happened and not just him being bullied that led to that drowning. I feel like there was more into it because, especially how the mother reacted, that no one was paying attention. You was busy having sex. There's more to this, way more to it. So I wrote that down, and then I wrote down hockey because they kept referencing that. The hockey reference. There's something about hockey that's a clue, that's a message. Okay. Oh, Yari, hi. How's the connection? Okay, hold on, guys. I'm gonna go outside. So, who? Give me 1 second. I'm gonna go outside since well, cool. I'm gonna put this in here. I think I got everything. Okay. Yeah, I agree. So there's something significant about that. Like because what do we know about his story so far? Okay, part two, it showed a glimpse of his childhood. All right, and we know how he looks like when he grows up, but we don't know. Okay, so we know how he looks like when he grows up, but we don't know anything about his childhood or any stories that his mother said. I'm gonna take a seat. My eyes are watering. Yeah, so it showed that he was isolated. He didn't have any friends. Okay, so he was a very isolated child. Okay, so that's a reference. Like I feel like his upbringing, like kind of like really disturbed his mental state as well, because I really feel like his mother was possibly overbearing. Possibly. So it showed that he had a close relationship to his mother. Okay, there's something about the mother reference. And then like towards the end of the movie we saw his face, but I feel like it represents he has no face, he has no name, but in the movie it means something, right? His face was mutilated. It was ugh, it was bad. Yeah. Okay, so what do we know so far? um I do feel like there's a connection to what I stated in part one, where I channeled a message. I said it has to do with a ancient Native American tribe that was wiped out. It was like some type of genocide, and their story was never told. It was covered up. Okay, not only was it covered up, their land was stolen and their inheritance was stolen, like their money, whatever they had was stolen. But there was a specific, I feel like, young girl or whatnot, um, that died terribly. She suffered. But somehow Jason, it goes deep, you guys, because Jason is the message, the movie is the clue. Jason is the message, the movie is the clue. The movie franchise, like every little detail. So we know that Jason represents the shadow side of Jesus Christ. It's like two. We have Jason, the character, and then we also have the truth, the message itself. But in part two, I feel like it represented his mental state. Like it was very disturbed, and that's why I feel like something really occurred to him. Like something happened to him as a kid, or something happened to really warp his mental state. Not just his mom dying. It has to be something more, and not just him being bullied. But all these experiences led him to be who he is now. You know, him being bullied, him. They said that he witnessed his mom being killed in part two. I'm like, where did they? We didn't even see what happened. All we're hearing is what the town people heard. We don't know what actually occurred yet. We haven't watched the whole franchise. Um, when the counselors were mocking Jason in the campfire, the guy dressed up in furs and had a spear. That reminded me of Ned mocking the natives in part one. Yes, they were, like I said that. I said it's a lot of reference to the Native Americans. So I really feel like there's a message here with that. But also, there's something about Jason. I said that he represents an avenging angel, but in part two, his mental was very disturbed. Like, really disturbed. I really feel like the wilderness, the forest represents his mental state. Because every time they run in the forest, I'm like, do not run in the forest. That's his domain. Okay? That's his domain. Like, he knows the in and out of that. He knows, it's like, I feel like the wilderness, they keep referencing that, and I feel like that represents his mental state. And not only that, it's a lot of reference to being mentally unstable, mentally insane. Not just with Jason. The first survivor in part one, they was trying to make it seem that she was crazy, right? In part two, there was a woman survivor. It's always this is we just finished part one and part two. Both were women that survived, that lived to tell the story, and they have like some type of mental state. She's like, "Oh, where's Ned?" Like, we always see him grab them, right? And then when they wake come to, we see them being rescued. Okay, this is the second time this happened. Yes, that's. I feel like it's more than two people. I feel like there's because when I was watching the movie, I feel like there's a person that's impersonating him, and then there's the real him. I feel like the real him is in the one that was in the water. That's just me. Okay, because I really felt like it was just two different versions of people, but we won't know that until we continue watching. But I feel like the real him was in the water. I actually feel like maybe the man following him in the beginning was not him growing up, but maybe a different person. Yeah. And then, what's the name died? The one that was warning everybody. He died. I'm like, damn. He was actually trying to help people. The one that everybody was calling crazy in the town. I forgot his name. Was it Ned? Not Ned. Ralph. Yeah, Ralph. It was Ralph. I was thinking of something similar, and maybe the joke of the bear wiping its behind with the rabbit has to do with him. You channel the movie while giving a message about a white rabbit. Oh, yeah, I mentioned that the bear and the rabbit earlier in this live. When you already watched the replay, but I did mention that. I said that there's something there. I feel like that's a clue as well when he was telling that joke about the bear and the rabbit. What was his name? Ned, and his girlfriend was Jenny or something like that. That guy, I think he's the one that told that joke about the bear and the rabbit. Or no, it was the other dude, the funny guy, the class clown, I guess, or the camp clown. I forgot his name. The skinny one. He ended up surviving, surprisingly. I thought he was gonna be the first one to go. A lot of them survived because they didn't go back. Yes, the numbers mean something. The trainer was wearing red and green. Yes, remember the colors mean something. Especially, I feel like the color pink and blue represents innocence. Green, I haven't figured that out really, because like I feel like we just saw the green more in this one, but I instantly picked up on that, the green. But it was shown again in part two, which I mentioned it in the beginning of this live. I said that they keep referencing a woman getting undressed, and you see her with her bra, and then we see a woman with just her t-shirt and her underwear, and then right after that someone's having sex. It showed that again, so there's something there regarding that. It's like something is being repeated. It's like a cycle, like something's being repeated. And then number reference, we had the 88, which I mentioned. The 88 represents like two sides to the story. I said the light and the shadow. I really feel like it represents two sides of the story. 88, it represents like two gates or two doors. And I said, where's the jelly? I said, where's the jelly? Like, where's his soul? Right? The 88, I said, it represents two like sides. And then 81, What does 81 represent? I feel like this is a very disturbing story. This is not rainbow and roses. This is something disturbing. I just have a feeling. There, whatever this truth that God wants us to uncover with this Jason movie is dark and it's disturbing, but it's the truth. Cause like the first movie, the number 88, I said represents two sides to the story. It represents two gates, his light and his dark side. And I was like, where's the jelly in the middle? Like, where's his soul? It represents the butterfly. Remember the butterfly? But we have the wings. But where's the soul? Where's his soul? What happens to his soul? And I said, it's like it's gone. He's like searching for his soul. Like he's not connected with his light and dark. It is not together, and then his soul is gone. That's how I see number 88. Like, don't ask me how. It's like I'm seeing it. And in 81, there's something about 81. Like it could be represents 81 death, but I feel like it's like a scar. This number 81, some type of scar. Like I actually could see what like something right here, like that left a mark, like 80, like who wore that shirt? The 81 with the guy in the wheelchair. He was the easy kill. Oh, no shade. But he was in the wheelchair. I feel like the more that I go deep, the more I'm gonna find the truth. But the truth, like I'm actually seeing what just occurred, but it's like we're going down the rabbit hole, and I feel like when we go down the rabbit hole, it can really be careful what you wish for. Not everybody's. I don't care. I want the truth. I am a truth seeker. So whatever this truth is, I want to know, and I guarantee you, I'm going to decode it. His name is smart. He just looks like man. There was also a reference to a seer named Velda in the movie. She was worshipped as a goddess in a Germanic tribe after predicting something, and she was real. It was on a poster in Alice's house. I didn't catch that. Thank you, Yari. This is why I like this. Okay, so you said the getaway car. I gotta watch the replay in this, but the getaway car in the movie was red, and another one was yellow. Hold on, let me go to the. But he said the getaway car in the movie was red, and another one was yellow. Okay, so we have the color red, yellow, green, pink, and blue. I feel like pink and blue together represents innocence somehow. It represents light, like it's like someone's light, but from a child's perspective, specifically a little girl. Okay, um, or it could be, yeah, because they said that he died as a child, so that could represent his innocence. But I'm gonna just put it out there. I don't know if this is true, but I feel like he was raped or molested. Okay, because of the reference. And the guy in the wheelchair, I believe he was the one that was wearing the shirt 81. Let me know if the connection is still good. Okay, thank you, Yari. Um, and then the ring. Have we figured out what the ring? I think it represents a clock, but I really feel like there's something about the fucking ring. There's actually a movie. It's I think a fantasy movie, mystical, The Lord of the Rings. In that movie, I remember when I watched it as a child, or I don't know how long ago I watched it, to be honest, but it was long time ago. I was young. In that movie, I remember they were fighting. There was a lot of wars happening, right? Um, but every time someone would put on this gold ring, it made them power hungry. Okay, it made them. It wasn't them. Okay, it was like they were possessed. They was possessed by this ring. They were possessed. Okay, and I also feel like they cursed themselves. But there's something referencing the ring, and I have to figure that out. I think it has to do with the clock, whatnot, but there's something going on. Yes. Yes, Yari, please keep in track on all the notes that we have discovered and watch the replay of what I have stated before. If any of all the things that you may have missed. But the colors, make sure that you write that down because I'm sure it's going to pop up again in part 3. I know that it is the colors. Um, the numbers, write down the numbers. So the first number we saw was 88. And this movie we saw 81, but can you put a note on who was wearing the shirt, the character, and the color of the shirt? I feel like that's significant as well. This part 2, he was wearing the number 81. It was a red shirt, and he was in a wheelchair. I feel like that's done on purpose. He was an easy kill, but I really feel like it means something much deeper than what we realized. Thank you, Yari. Thank you, thank you. There's something I wanted to reference. There's something else. Oh, the girls. Can you also put a note on the girls who get undressed? They always show them getting undressed. They show their bra, and they show them wearing a t-shirt and underwear. And right after that, they always show a sex scene. Can you reference? Can you put that down on the note? Because this is the second time it's shown that. And the color that they were wearing, the t-shirt. So that's oh yeah, there was another number reference in part 1, but we discovered it had to do with degrees. It wasn't, he was making it seem that it was the year. He said 58, he said 57, I think he said, the driver who drove Annie, I think her name was Annie, the cook. And you know Jason's mom was a cook at the camp that he died? So reference, put down the cook. What does the cook mean? There's a deeper meaning to that. Thank you, Yari. Thank you. You're gonna be like the record keeper.
keeping record of everything that we discovered so far. But yeah. So before we watch part three, we're gonna take a little break from watching part three. Okay, from watching the Jason franchise. Okay, we're actually going to decode the movie Cinderella. We're gonna decode Cinderella. No, I was gonna wait on that. Hold on. No, not Cinderella. I actually have the list in my bag. There's something that I found out about the Disney movies. I actually found out something. We're gonna decode Sleepy Beauty. I never watched that movie. Never. But I keep getting clues on that. It keep being repeated. Something about Sleeping Beauty. Okay. And when I was at work, it was so weird. I was at work. If you guys don't know, I'm a CNA. So I work in a nursing home. Okay, skilled nursing home. And so I work in a skilled nursing home. And one of the visitors of the patient that I was caring for, she had came up to me. She's like, "Oh, Sleepy Beauty has awakened," and she was referencing her husband or whatever. And then she was just laughing about it. But I'm like, that was so weird because that whole day, I kept seeing reference to Sleepy Beauty. 577 BOC. Yeah, you can keep it down on the records just in case, because they do highlight that the cars. Okay. All right. So yeah, I want to hold off on watching the Jason movie, just for a little break. Okay. I keep chilling this Sleepy Beauty and dragons. I'm like, what? Dragons? Dragons, y'all. Dragons. My life. This is my life. I'm grateful for my gift, but where it leads me sometimes, I'm like, I just have to go down the rabbit hole. Just go down. Apparently, I'm the rabbit. So, go down the rabbit hole. So, I leave it there. So, I will leave it there. More Targaryen lore. Yeah. I think I should do. Okay, I think we should do the dragons first because I was chilling that first before Sleepy Beauty. Okay, okay. We're gonna do the dragons. Specifically, it's called Dragon Tales. It's a cartoon. We're gonna do that one instead. I believe we should do that one. He is. Yeah. As soon as we figure out, I feel like it's like it goes deep. It goes deep. I feel like we just have to keep figuring out the truth, but the truth is it's like he spread it everywhere. So it's like we have to connect a lot of pieces together to understand. Okay, it's called Dragon Tales. You don't have to watch the whole season. Just watch, I guess, the first episode and just tell me what you think. I'm gonna see if they have a movie. No, I feel like we should watch the very first episode to get understanding. So let's just watch the first episode, and I will put the link on the community tab so that you guys can watch it. How about that? All right. I'm gonna see you guys next time. We could do this decoding the live back on Saturday. We're doing. Hold on. No. When's the 16th? Is it Friday or Saturday? I don't remember what day that is. Someone looked it up. I don't remember that what day. Someone has to look it up. I forgot what day. Friday. We will do this Friday. I'm also gonna do a poll on the My Community tab and see what you guys want to look forward to on my channel. Like what you guys want me to do as far like or add on, I should say. Like it doesn't have to be decoding. All right. Later alligators. Bye.